Good morning, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News, coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Viva Las Vegas. I'm here for Bachelor Spoiler King Reality Steve's Fan Appreciation Weekend. It was so delightful to meet so many amazing people last night. We met folks from all over the country and other countries that have come to celebrate content creation and small-time podcasters like some podcaster, Dave Neal. So thank you to those that came, gave gifts or merchandise. You guys truly, truly are so special. So Monday is our June 10th trial, which we will have the evidentiary hearing at 8:45 in the morning. I'll give some thoughts about that hearing and what my plan is, and we'll share some information right now about a potential last-minute filing by Jane Doe's attorney, a filing that may make it into the court docket, or maybe it's just kind of one of those things you share publicly. I have no idea at this point. The sort of traditions that exist in the legal world seem to have been thrown out the window in this court case. Accuser's last-ditch effort, and apologies for the voice, but by golly, have I spoken to a lot of people in the last few days, and I need lemon tea. I need to harvest some vocal cords for Monday because it's going to be a marathon. So I'll read some amazing tweets from our friends at Clayton's Justice. My hypothesis, which could be wrong, is that Jane Doe brought this new proof in yesterday and begged her lawyer to write the last motion. All right, so this proof I'm going to share with you is essentially Jane Doe finding a screen grab that's supposed to, I guess, refute what Clayton's expert says. So is Jane Doe's attorney seriously asking the court to choose between believing Jane over believing Mike's computer expert? Seriously? And my initial thought to that was, isn't that why we hire a computer expert? Don't we hire a computer expert because there's always a he said, she said, and when you hire an expert, you finally get that proof because it's coming from somebody.
Donuts are made with potatoes.
Excuse me, sorry. We get that proof because it's coming from somebody that's got that validity, that isn't just going to be throwing lies out there. Isn't that why you have the expert? Well, we'll have to find out. So one more for the road from Jane Doe's attorney, Jane's addendum to her pretrial statement. All right, so she, I guess, stumbled upon stumbled upon some arts and crafts, stumbled upon an old screen grab of a text message from 2016, which people are calling rich because she wasn't able to provide actual metadata of texts and photos from 2023. So she didn't have the information from 2023, but she stumbled upon 2016 information. In the matter of Jane Doe v. Clayton Echard, addendum to petitioner's pretrial statement. So here we have it. Pursuant to Rule 76.1, petitioner Jane Doe hereby submits the following addendum to her pretrial statement. This addendum addresses issues required by Rule 76, and to the extent necessary, Jane also moves the court to admit late disclosed evidence pursuant to Rule 76 as discussed below. Well, isn't this funny? Because weren't they bitching and moaning about Clayton releasing evidence 3 days before the evidence deadline, and then they go, but wait, we found something. We've overturned, we've unearthed. You ever watch those TikTok videos where they go digging? They have the radar and they go digging in the backyard and they find some treasure. She found some screen grabs. Specifically, as the court will recall, on April 30th, 2024, Jane filed an emergency motion to strike and request for immediate telephonic scheduling conference. That pleading explained that earlier that same day, April 30th, 2024, respondent Clayton Echard disclosed for the first time documents purporting to show Jane sent fake medical records to an ex-boyfriend named Michael Medicini in 2016. The motion to strike further explained Mr. Echard's motion is supported by dozens of pages of new documents, which he only disclosed for the first time today, April 30th, 2024. Where? Clayton found new evidence. On May 2nd, 2024, Clayton filed a response opposing Jane's emergency motion to strike. In his response, Clayton claimed the medical records he disclosed on April 30th, 2024, the ones allegedly sent by Jane to Mr. Medicini, were not new because he claimed the records are her medical records and therefore not new to Jane. The next day, May 3rd, Jane submitted a reply in support of her emergency motion to strike. Jane also filed an affidavit in which she attested unequivocally that the medical records attached to Clayton's April 30th, 2024, 7th supplemental disclosure statement were fake. These are not my medical records, which we knew they're fake, but the question is, where do they come from? And the answer was her. Jane further attested, I have no idea who created the fake records attached hereto as Exhibit A. All I can say is that I did not create them. I have no idea who did, and I never sent them to anyone else because I had never seen these documents prior to them being disclosed by Mr. Echard on April 30th, 2024. The only way she's telling the truth here is if something way more sinister is going on and like her mom's behind this whole thing, which no one believes. I mean, her mom might be complicit, but Jane's driving the train. Jane's train. She's driving train. Days later, on May 7th, 2024, just 3 days prior to the close of discovery, Clayton disclosed an additional 2,489 pages of documents, which he claims were copies of text messages sent between Jane and Mr. Medicini in 2016 and 2017. In effect, this data dump purported to show the full and complete exchange of text messages between Jane and Mr. Medicini, as opposed for the partial snippets disclosed on April 30th. And sure enough, in this chain were the same fake records attached to Clayton's April 30th, 2024 disclosure statement. One example is shown here, and it's a photo that she sent claiming she's got real ovarian cancer. None of that fake stuff. This is the real deal, baby. We continue. For context, a screenshot above purports to show a text message in a blue box, which reads, I'm sorry, I will be better at being a teammate. Above that blue box is some text which appears to represent metadata regarding the message, information showing the date, time, and sender recipient of the message. Directly above that metadata is an image with a file name full-size render-1.jpg. In the 2,500-page document disclosed by Clayton, this image is essentially illegible. It cannot be clicked or otherwise expanded for a clearer view, and the text is too small to read. However, it appears this small thumbnail image is probably the same as a larger version that was attached to Clayton's April 30th, 7th supplemental disclosure statement, shown here. And that reads, Dear Laura, thank you for your email. I'm sorry you are going through such a rough time right now and will do my best to help you through it. I read the message you sent me from your boyfriend and answer his questions. Stage 1A is without a doubt considered to be true cancer and something that we take very seriously. You are correct, Jane, that this cancer is found only in one ovary. He is incorrect in his saying that this means you just might have malignant cancer cells. Please tell him that, yes, I have diagnosed you with real ovarian cancer, not something that just may be there. I am not sure what is meant by the message you forwarded that says I would only be diagnosing it if it were something other than stage 1A. That is a very real stage and simply means it has not spread beyond your right ovary. I recommend looking at the American Cancer Society's website page for more information. In addition, you can let him know that your diagnosis and treatment have been complicated by your pregnancy, which on its own has been extremely difficult and unusual. I would strongly encourage him to change his attitude and support you at this time. Also, please make sure he makes his bed or else Santa Claus will not be delivering Christmas presents. I sincerely hope things get better. All the best. All the best. John Chung K. Chan is the doctor that she uses here, but we believe that's all fake. The specific ovarian cancer message is one of the documents Jane referenced in her May 2nd, 2024 affidavit, which she denied creating or sending to Mr. Maricini. This creates an obvious concern. Oh, there's a concern, folks. Either Jane lied in her affidavit when she said she did not create this fake ovarian cancer document, or Clayton or someone on his team lied about the authenticity of the text messages purportedly found on Mr. Medicini's computer. Why's my phone going off? Oh, time to wake up. That's right. I set my alarm for 9 a.m. and I'm awake before then, even in Vegas, baby. So, the hypothetical Jane Doe's attorney wants to give us is that either she lied, which has been admitted in multiple ways, or Clayton's lied. Now, we know the laptop from Mike Medicini was given to a forensic expert. Like, these messages exist on the laptop. What do they want? What do they want? Does he have to bring the laptop? It's already been verified. And if he was lying, it would be very easy to prove when they get a hold of that laptop. To help provide more context, attached here too is Exhibit A, are 2 pages from the report of Clayton's expert, John Berryhill. These 2 pages show the ovarian cancer thumbnail, the next message below reading, "I'm sorry, I will be better at being a teammate," and the prior message above it, which ends with, "We need to try to be teammates." So again, all the metadata. Again, if the document disclosed by Clayton are genuine and authentic, they appear to show Jane did send the fake ovarian cancer document to Mike Maricini and that she lied about this fact in her May 2nd, 2024 affidavit. All right, there it is. So that's her attorney saying, hey, looks like she lied. But then they continued. However, we should just end there. All right, that's the video. However, Jane maintains that she has not lied. Look, we know she's maintained that because she's a liar. She's a liar. She doesn't tell the truth. She spits the lies like it's, like a camel. She's spitting lies like a camel. Except she didn't do any humping in this case. It's a blowjob. Jane maintains that she had not lied. In fact, in the course of preparing for trial in this matter, like literally yesterday, June 6th, Jane discovered a screenshot of the original text message exchange with Mr. Maricini. And guess what? The fake ovarian cancer document does not appear in the original message thread. Oh, behave. Well, it looks like Jane Doe. Can you believe this? Listen, we know something crazy is going to happen Monday. We just don't know what. I've been warned by people saying, oh, please, I really hope this doesn't happen, or I hope that doesn't happen. I hope nothing happens as far as anything other than justice in the courtroom. But here she is on June 6th. Now, does this read as if Jane Doe is forcing her attorney to file this motion? Maybe. Who knows? But it's a text message from Jane Doe, a screen grab that shows, I guess, that she's not attaching those messages. So I guess what we're trying to say is Mike Maricini somehow, or this is what she's, I guess, arguing, is that he somehow doctored the metadata to make it so that he planted evidence of her faking cancer. I don't know. I mean, the problem here is obvious. Either the 2,500-page document produced by Clayton's expert is not authentic, or Jane's testimony in the above screenshot are not true. One party is telling the truth, and the other is not. The question is, who is lying? Ooh, me. Jane Doe is, this reads as if he knows. It's like he's being held by gunpoint or something. Blink twice. Are you being held hostage by her in the casita or something? Resolving that factual dispute is a job for the finder of fact, this court. The judge is like, we'll get to that. But under a correct application of the rules of evidence, where'd I go? Lost my spot. But under a correct, I can't find my spot. To be sure, guys, let me take a water break here. By water, I mean coffee. An original writing, recording, photograph, or video is required in order to prove its content unless these rules or an applicable statute provide otherwise. To be sure, the variance rule of evidence, Rule 1003, does provide otherwise. That rule allows copies, duplicates to be admitted, except when there is a genuine question about the original's authenticity. There is no question about the authenticity from anybody but Jane Doe, because she's the liar. A duplicate is admissible to the same extent as the original unless a genuine question is raised about the original's authenticity or the circumstances make it unfair to admit the duplicate. Here, there is clearly a genuine question regarding the original's authenticity. Okay, so I think I understand what's going on. They show Jane Doe's version of arts and crafts to raise awareness that the original may not be accurate, even though the expert has verified that. Shouldn't they have just hired their own expert? So it should be like, if he has an expert verifying that it's real, why don't we get their expert versus just some random screenshots they claim to have found in the backyard while they were gardening. She was gardening, she was tilling some soil, and a screenshot popped up. Here, there is clearly a genuine question regarding the original's authenticity. Indeed, the original computer files used to create the 2,500-page PDF document attached to Mr. Berryhill's report have never been disclosed, not even to this day. The only disclosure is a report which Mr. Berryhill claims contains copies of text messages found on Mr. Maricini's laptop. But the laptop itself has never been disclosed, nor has the original iMessage data file containing the text messages themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Mike Maricini offer to deliver this to them, but they just never got an expert? Furthermore, the circumstances of this disclosure could not be more patently unfair. Rather than disclosing information in a timely manner as required by Rule 49, Clayton waited until 3 days before the close of discovery to dump this massive amount of data on Jane Doe. First of all, that's not true. There was no waiting. This was discovered by Mike Maricini in the last minute, and it was discovered by Mike Maricini because Jane Doe's attorney opened up a lot of scar tissue and wounds. Clayton's expert by releasing his deposition and trying to, relive that trauma he experienced for several years. Clayton's expert, John Berryhill, may certainly qualify as an expert in certain areas. However, Mr. Berryhill does not appear to be offering any expert opinions. Rather, he is testifying about information he claims to have found on Mr. Maricini's laptop. As such, Mr. Berryhill is not offering any expert opinions under Rule 702 of the Rules of Evidence. Rather, he is offering testimony as a normal percipient witness based on his alleged personal knowledge of the matters observed. Perhaps in other circumstances, these concerns would not be so substantial. But in this case, there's a very real concern about trusting evidence from either party. Jane has openly admitted to editing at least 2 documents, a sonogram from Planned Parenthood and an HCG test from Any Lab Test Now, neither of which were ever used as genuine evidence in this case or any other court proceeding. Yet she sent these things to journalists like myself. In fact, she sent it to me, just me, and Clayton, a fraudulent HCG test to prove to us she was pregnant. So whether it was used in the court proceedings, it's very obvious she used that to persuade an audience that she was pregnant when she really wasn't. She maintains those documents are immaterial to any issue in this case other than her credibility. Yikes. So her own attorney's just really crushing her. At the same, honestly, her own attorney is doing more damage to her than we could because you know why? Because she's paying him. She's paying him to basically call her a liar. At the same time, as this court will learn at trial, there is clear and compelling evidence that Clayton has made false statements to Jane. More concerning, there is clear evidence Clayton's counsel has made knowingly false material misrepresentations to the court in pleadings filed in this case. Again, that seems to be a stretch. For those reasons, this court simply cannot assume the veracity of the 2,500-page PDF report produced by Clayton. Only the original computer files will suffice. And then again, they know in a 2-hour court hearing, they can't be opening up the computer and shuffling through all of this. Indeed, the PDF itself was produced in an entirely insecure manner. The PDF was not locked or protected against modification, which could and should easily have been done. In plain English, this means anyone with common PDF software can open the document and change the contents, like the example shown below, created by undersigned counsel. So he's saying anybody can edit this, but it's like, hello, the only people that know how to edit this, like that actually do this, are Jane Doe, because she fakes these things. Someone faked this time. Okay, so we understand, right, that was faked by them. They faked it to prove a point. Because the contents of the PDF can be changed by anyone at any time, and because the original data files used to create the PDF were never produced, this means the exhibit is inadmissible pursuant to the best evidence rule. And again, this evidence is kind of like one of those things, it's good to have for us because we know it's real, and whether or not they even use this evidence, it's like the least of her concerns. In short, the veracity of the contents of the PDF produced by Mr. Berryhill depend entirely and solely on trusting that Mr. Berryhill, Clayton, and or his counsel did nothing to tamper with the document. The rules of evidence and basic common sense do not permit such an important issue to be based entirely on one party or lawyering, saying, trust me, Judge, you can take my word for it, just don't fact check me. For the reasons, by the way, fact check them. He had the chance to get his own expert to look at this. For the reasons stated above, Jane hereby supplements her previous objection to the inadmission of any part of the 2,500-page PDF attached to Mr. Berryhill's report. This includes, but is not limited to, an objection to Clayton's Trial Exhibit 48, any testimony regarding the contents of those messages, and any other exhibit purporting to be based on information obtained by Mr. Maricini's laptop. We've seen photos of these fraudulent medical documents from Mike's computer. We've seen the metadata in PDFs. We've seen an expert. They exist. Mike didn't edit them. He didn't plant them. They are real. Could that be done in some wild CIA world where you plant 2,500 pages of evidence? Maybe. That's just not the case here in the reality we live in. I wanted to go to some of your comments, so just give me a second as I pull that up here. But you guys have just been fantastic, giving words of encouragement for Clayton. Some folks have even given me messages to hand to Clayton. It's just been absolutely incredible. But some of your comments here, we'll just go to them on the subreddit. She can find a screenshot from 2016, but not an ultrasound from 2023. Unbelievable. I just read his amendment. It's laughable. Maybe one of the worst Hail Mary pleadings I've seen. And his client should have spent a little money hiring their own forensic expert, skip a horse show or two, and in a few dinner deliveries. Instead, he's saying Jane Doe isn't lying, so Mike's expert must be. Internet lawyer told Woodnick Jane Doe wanted to have an expert look at the computer, but internet lawyer didn't think it would change anything. Then he went on Twitter saying they didn't end up having time after he told Woodnick in an email he was looking for someone in San Francisco to look at it. The guy can't make up his mind or doesn't remember what he said. It's all evidence. That's what it came down to. It came down to the fact that they didn't want this evidence they didn't want to verify because they knew it was real. They just wanted to cast doubt on it. They're not looking for truth. Now, I wanted to talk very briefly about what's going to go down Monday. I'm live streaming starting at 7 a.m. local time, and I will be live streaming before, during, and after the trial. It looks like our good friend, YouTuber Lauren Needy, is possibly going to have a live stream going on inside the courtroom. They call it a pool camera, and that means anyone can take a dip into the pool. Now, Lauren, again, I think there was a lot of miscommunication with people online. I have to remind people, this isn't to Lauren. The miscommunication wasn't with Lauren. It was with others. People were kind of trying to take ownership over who gets control of the stream. Lauren should get it because she's the one who's going to be setting it up and this and that. We have to remember, we're all here to get eyeballs on this case. And I, for sure, did not leave my family to go to Arizona to cover this trial, to then take 3 hours off during the live stream. I will be covering it. I will, if I'm able to get a hold of the live stream, if it works, I will be streaming it on my channel. I'm assuming Lauren will be streaming it on hers, and other people can be streaming it on theirs. It'll be like almost open source. That's the fair thing to do. Some people have said, well, there are smaller YouTubers, give them a chance. Listen, that's not what we're all here to do. We're all here to support each other, but we're all here to run our own businesses. So my muffin shop will be open. Lauren's can be open, and Megan Fox's can be open. All of our muffin shops can be open, and folks can eat their muffins. There is no trying to one-up each other. We're all supportive YouTubers, and Lauren and others, luckily, were able to get their channels up and running, in some cases within weeks versus some people that maybe have taken 5-6 years. So it's a blessing to have this audience between all of us. And by the way, no slight to Lauren whatsoever. We absolutely love her. This is to an audience of some people that started to kind of like, I get it, want to, make sure everyone's taken care of here. If we do get a live stream by Lauren, we'll try to help her efforts out. And I think if you go to my Twitter, I shared her Venmo if anyone wants to send her donations. That's how it works. But we had people, and by the way, bless them. We had people saying, Dave, why don't you set up a super chat fund? That way you can spread it out. Listen, do you understand? Like the way taxes work, the way super chats work, we get like something like 60% of a super chat. It's not that high. So I'll be sharing my Venmo, and if people want to donate, they can, and they don't have to. But the whole like divvying things up, I've tried this before. It is not good. It's like you can't be divvying up super chats and then what am I going to do? Send somebody like a text? You know what I mean? It's complicated. So go to the source, support them, support Megan. And by the way, like we've been here from the beginning. There is literally no way in hell I will not be covering this story in its entirety on Monday. From a personal level, having the FBI called on me, having the district's attorney called on me, being accused of crazy things by her that are now in the ethers of the internet. No way in hell I won't be standing there strongly with my feet planted into the ground, delivering the news as it comes out on Monday, June 10th, 2024. Whether or not there will be boatload of commentary afterwards. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Some people said it would be great if there was one God stream where we had all of the content creators in the same panel. We'll do that later. We'll do that next week. We'll do that when we have a chance. We'll all rewatch it. But everyone, just relax and just remember why we're all here, to continue to get as many eyeballs on this case. Maybe they'll change laws. Maybe they'll revisit some prior cases and get restraining orders, redacted. I mean, not redacted, taken away. And we'll talk till our voices are gone with regards to this story. To everyone I met this weekend that had such kind words and hugs, from Pam to Denise to Lisa, so many people we met. Go to my Instagram. You can see some of the photos. Thank you for sharing all those kind words. They fill me up. They really do. And to everybody else and your kind words that are on the internet, we appreciate it. All of your support on an individual level. Every single person that has supported this case has been a brick in a wall of justice that has prevented shenanigans like this from hopefully happening again. And we'll put an end to this starting Monday, June 10th. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in a little bit. If there's any breaking news, I'll try to get to it. But otherwise, I will see you Monday morning at 7 a.m., barring any other issues. I'll have more information on my Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll probably have a test run live stream tomorrow night from the van as soon as I have my equipment set up. It might be dark and there might be issues, but we'll do a test stream. We'll get it all going. We'll be up bright and early Monday morning, and we'll try to, not pass out from the heat, and hopefully nothing crazy happens. All right, we'll see you guys then. Bye, everybody.